Welcome to a different type of video. This is a commentary video, something that I haven't done yet on this channel, but something that I thought I'd do given the occasion. This is patch 2.03. I am playing Escalation, the brand new game mode. It is
Warm up.
just gun game. It is team gun game, rather, in Valorant, which is phenomenal for warm-ups. And, yeah, that's like... But there's a lot of changes in this patch. For starters, Reyna got nerfed significantly. Also got buffed in a way. Oh gosh, I haven't. This is my first game as well. Reyna got nerfed and buffed at the same time. There's some mild changes to Brim and Phoenix. I'll go over those first. And also, weapon meta completely changed. For example, Stinger and the Stinger meta is no longer nearly as viable because the Stinger got a fire rate nerf, and which means you can't raw DPS and peek people, and it also got a price hike. So, yeah, so the Stinger now costs 1,100 credits rather than 1,000. Its fire rate was decreased from 18 to 16. And, yeah, and those are the major changes. There were also some recoil changes to both its primary auto-firing mode and its secondary burst fire mode, which were interesting. And so the gun will handle differently as well. Wow. And this game was kind of weird. Oh, we're playing Bulldogs. Cool. So, yeah, that's the major Stinger nerfs. The Frenzy was also nerfed significantly. No, actually, not really significantly. It only costs 500 creds now, which I suppose is it is a nerf. Not a significant one, but a noticeable one. Meaning you can't run Stinger or you can't run Frenzy and light armor, which is really going to change the pistol meta and make Frenzy less of a always buy kind of weapon, which is good. I think it's good because I've not been a fan of the Frenzy meta. So there's that. That's the only change to the Frenzy, and then the Marshall got buffed significantly. First off, it costs less. Jeez, I'm getting grenaded to high heck. So the Marshall costs 1,000 creds versus 1,100, and then it also changed the way the Marshall is fires. So so your the scope zoom is 3.5x versus 2.5x, which is a major difference. And also the running speed while scoped has been decreased to 90%, meaning you can hard scope on a corner and just move around it at 90% speed, which is really a big change. Jeez. This game is so fun. So there's that. So we're going to be looking at a much less strong of a force buy meta, and much more of a so yeah, you're not going to be seeing nearly as many Stinger force buys on round 2 after you lose round 1, which I think is a good thing, because the Stinger meta, I think the Stinger force meta has not been the most enjoyable, especially because you shouldn't be losing that second round after you win the first. So there is that to consider. And then oh jeez. So the Stinger Force meta is no longer nearly as viable. And the Stinger, you're going to see actually a lot more marshals, especially on defense. That will be very good for those quick peeks.
Reloading.
And so less force buying on round 2 by losing team is a good thing. And then let's get into agent changes. Sorry, my mind is kind of scattered. It's hard to play a game and commentate at the same time.
Match point.
Playing shock darts. So, alright. So, yeah, so Stingers are weaker. Marshals are much stronger. We're going to be seeing a bit of a Marshal meta come out, I think. And not only that, but not only are we going to see more of a Marshal meta, but we're going to be seeing less of a Frenzy on first round meta. Less Frenzy pistol round, and less Frenzy as a whole. So yeah, like I was saying, there is going to be less Frenzy forcing, less Frenzy on pistol, less Stinger forcing, and Marshal is going to become a viable meta weapon. And which I think are all good things, because I think the Marshal has been one of, if not the least used weapons in the game. Personally, I like it. I enjoy it. It's a fun weapon. You can quickscope with it. But I have it right now, and it's fun to just kind of run in. But now that there is like that 3.5x zoom, it's gonna be something to behold. It makes tapping heads easier, that's for sure. And then now let's get into agent changes. So there are major changes to Reyna, almost a rework you could call it of Reyna. And there were also some changes to there were also some minor changes to Brim and Phoenix involving their mollies. So let's do the minor changes first. So both Brim and Phoenix's mollies will be more noticeable from an auditory perspective than they currently are. Wow, this is Rocket's making it impossible to focus. But so you won't be, if there's like flashes and smokes and stuff going on, you won't be noticing that. You won't be noticing like, oh, there's flames there as you're dying to it. You'll hear the flames and it will be noticeable. There will be an proper auditory cue. Boy, my aim kind of sucks. For both, that involves both Phoenix's Firewall and and Brimstone's Incendiary, which I think are fine changes. My personal opinion is they're pretty minor, so I'm not too worried about them being, you know, like anything ridiculous. but I do think that they will be at least helpful to players, especially those who struggle to have like the situational awareness necessary to avoid fire and stuff like that. Okay, I just got Guardian spammed. So there's that to consider, which all good. And then Reyna. So Reyna had a major reworking. First of all, the amount of devour slash dismiss, which is her. This devour is for heal, off kills, and dismiss is for dismiss is her, you know, invulnerability and movement off kills. That was reduced from 4 to 2, which is a major nerf. And then her, the cost of her devour and dismiss also went from 100 creds to 200 creds, making it much more economic in terms of you have to make actual economic decisions in terms of what you do on pistol rounds. And combined with the frenzy, that's severely weak. Combined with the frenzy price hike, that severely nerfs Reyna on especially pistol rounds. But she still will have those heals, but they can't be spammed, and they can't be. She can't just go like invulnerable, and that makes. I think that makes her ult more useful. Which is, I think, yeah, because her ult seemed like kind of like, why would I use this? Almost, it's just a stim beacon. Just play Brim. So that's a good thing. Outside of that, there was a buff where if you dealt damage to someone within 30 seconds of their death, you would gain soul orbs from that. Which I think is good because you'd often run into situations where Reyna would hit someone hard, and then the kill gets healed. And now that Reyna's heal is useless. Completely useless.
Reloading.
Defeated. Shot down.
Reloading.
So yeah, Reyna got both nerfed and buffed in some ways. Personally, I think they went a bit overboard with the Reyna nerfs. I feel that instead, maybe if you're gonna nerf her down to two soul orbs, at least let her carry like a third Leer or something like that. You know, something that just makes it slightly less of a hit to her performance ability, because I feel like that really, not only, I mean, it got rid of the pub stomping, yes, but it also got rid of the, it also got rid of much of the reason to use her kit at all. Because her kit was centered around, her kit was centered around, getting a pick and then moving in. Which was the really important part of her kit.
Match point.
And so now that she doesn't have that pick and move ability, it severely weakens her kit.
Retired. Engineers down.
Okay. So that's pretty much it for the update. It was a pretty major rework. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Yoru got buffs as well. Yoru, I wouldn't say buffs, ease of life changes. If you want, look at the patch notes. But honestly, they're not major. The major Yoru changes are coming later. But that basically wraps things up for this video. I was kind of rambling, and I kind of didn't say much, almost. But I kind of just want to, I mean, all I wanted to do is really go over the patch, the 2.03 patch. And the Yoru additions weren't that crazy. They were basically meant to make it easier to communicate non-verbally with Yoru, so like your dimensional drift would, if you saw someone in your dimensional drift, then it would show on the minimap to everybody, which I think is just a quality of life change. So, yeah, Yoru's major buff, which he needs, is coming later, because Yoru's easily the worst duelist. I mean, it's not even really up for debate. It just kind of is, I guess. But that's my take on the 2.03 patch. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to drop it a like so I know, and I'll do more of this kind of video. If you don't like it, just leave a dislike, tell me in the comments down below, and I'll move on from this kind of content and only really use it for patch notes. But that's all for today.